All right, hello, this is your average Joe, and today I wanted to go ahead and talk about a topic I think I might have cut out there. All right, let me start again. Hello, this is your average Joe, and today I wanted to go ahead and make a video about what makes a real MGTOW. What makes a MGTOW real? What is this concept I'm referring to? What is the purpose of this? Well, in the wake of the Yogi Obes and the Alexander Grace issue, this is a prevailing. Okay, technical issues. Technical issues. This is amazing. But really, what it comes down to is I wanted to go ahead and make this video, but I figured that shooting a little bit more from the hip, being a bit more live about this, would be something that would be far more honest. Honestly, what makes it a real MGTOW? What makes you a real MGTOW? What makes a real man? What makes a real boy? You know, are we just a bunch of Pinocchios? Are we surrounded, waiting for the fairy to come along and, grant us our wish of becoming real boys? Or is there something more to this? And really, what I thought was very interesting was the very concept that there's a kind of a underlying tone, or actually, it's an overtly loud tone to go ahead and create a vetting process to vet MGTOW men and determine who qualifies and who does not. And this video is not against that. I don't think that's a bad idea at all, really. You know, search me. Am I a real boy? I don't know. We'll find out later. Some At some point in this episode of Johnny Quest, we will get to the bottom line of exactly whether or not am I a real boy. But in any case, the question has been asked multiple times, and this was even something that I saw as almost kind of uh, a jibe at not only just the Yogi Obes incident, but the recent um, conflict, this renewed conflict between incels and MGTOW, where the incels are proclaiming that MGTOW are attacking them and harassing them and looking down upon the incel community for them being who they are, which are incels. And I've already talked about this. I believe that they're wincels. They are men that are winning because they're not participating in the game. And that what they really should do, in my personal opinion, again, they are their own men. What they should do is remove the female validation in their life and focus upon themselves, focus upon the men that they are, and be appreciative of the men that they are. Because the very interesting thing that I find when it comes to incels is the very concept that many of these men are very highly talented. They have a talent of some kind. They have a skill of some kind. They have these things that they are more than capable of doing. And yet they throw all of that away, or they refuse to refine a skill or a talent because in their eyes, they are less than nothing. Hello, MGTOW Thread. How are you this evening? But wanted to go ahead and briefly talk about what makes a real MGTOW. And the reason why I asked this question is because this was something that I thought it was a very funny little I guess it was supposed to be an insult, honestly, but I think it's a good question to go ahead and ask now that we are looking at the Yogi Obes situation and all of these other things. Alexander Grace was another one. I believe before him there was LFA and a few other of these prior PUAs that the moment, I guess, they got some tail, they renounced their names and pulled, exactly what Barbosa has warned us about all the time. Many of these men are just one blowjob away from going back to the plantation. Hello, Silent Sage. How are you this evening? But really what I wanted to get with this is it's something that I talk about constantly, and it's something that I think really needs to be just hammered every moment, every time I get the opportunity and the chance to. And that is what makes a real MGTOW? What makes a MGTOW a real MGTOW? What separates the men who claim the title as a coping mechanism, the men who claim the title and go, "Oh yeah, I'm so MGTOW, I'm so alpha. Look at me, I'm just And well, obviously us, in the little community that we have, in the little, I wouldn't even say it's really a community, in this little interesting gathering place that we find ourselves on the internet. I am doing well. Thank you. Had a nice steak and some bourbon. I'm feeling very good. It's a good Tuesday. But really what it comes down to is it's the very concept in and of itself of the validation that a man seeks. If the man seeks validation from any other part of his life besides himself, he's not real. He's not he cannot possibly be well, and I say that in the context of, and unless he's going through the sigma and zeta, like sigma male and zeta male. I've heard of sigmas. I really have zeta. This is new to me though. I would honestly, based upon if we're going through those different classifications, I fall very heavily into sigma. Just for the simple fact that I am spent a majority of my life literally. I'll do everything by myself, and I don't need anyone else. So, but really, what it comes down to is the point I am attempting to make here, really. If the man is either A, seeking to remove the validation from other people and put it back into himself, or only seeks to validate his own existence and his own sovereignty within himself. And the reason why I say sovereignty is very specific. Sovereignty is his own ability to control and make his own life decisions. He rules his life. It doesn't mean that it's perfect. It doesn't mean that he is, a millionaire or a billionaire. He doesn't even have to have money. He doesn't even have to have things. If this man is homeless and he has sovereignty of himself, then he is far more of a successful man than many of the other men that we see out there right now, because he has the opportunity and the power to control his life. And a dark side, you know what? I think that's a very interesting thing about that thread is I think we all do. And I actually, as my own person, my own individual, I find it far easier to trust people who accept their dark sides and show them far more than people who sit there and, oh, look at me, I'm so in the light, I am so enlightening, I'm here in the light, in the radiance of light, I can do no harm, I can do no evil, I have no darkness to me. I do not believe you. You are a lie. You are a deception. And that's exactly what this is about, is when we see the Alexander Grace and the Yogi Yobes and these other fools and these scam artists, these shams, really, they have the same connotation. They don't have dark sides. They can't possibly be bad men. They can't possibly be the bad guy. I can't be the bad guy in this story. Oh yeah, absolutely. Alphas are more than happy to be tools. Although I think that's the more modern alpha. I think that an actual alpha, because I did meet a man that I would describe as an actual alpha, really did not care about at all what anyone thought of him, what he, it really wasn't like, dude, I'm so Chad, I'm so bro, but it was literally, I am here to do my job and I'm here to lead in the most effective and polite manner possible, and I will do so in the efforts to ensure that my leadership style is to the utmost degree as perfect as possible, because I want to be the best leader I can be, because I can and I should be. That's what I would describe as an actual alpha personality. The Chads and bros and I get laid a lot, so I'm alpha. No, not really. You're maybe in terms of a sexual marketplace, but even then it's okay. So you're the coupon at the cash dispenser. You get the coupon. You get, here's one thought off. Here's two thought off. Here's three thought off. Everyone gets thoughts, except for Jimmy in the corner. You don't get thoughts. Screw you, Jimmy. But really, it does come into that, is that these men, well, maybe boys, Pinocchios. Let's call them Pinocchios. I like that, Pinocchios. these Pinocchios come in here with the wish to become a real boy, and that's what we see in the MGTOW communities. We have these Pinocchios. They come to MGTOW thinking that this is the path that will make them real men, or that I can be so alpha here. I can be the realest of men here. I am the best of men. I have no competition. I am no greater than anyone else. For I am the greatest of all, because I am MGTOW. And what we find is when the Pinocchios get to a point where they don't get that validation. Like Angry MGTOW was a prime example of that. When they don't get that validation, that inherent, oh, good job, you. Here's some money. Take some shells. Take some, take my currency, whatever it is, in whatever country you come from. Take my currency. Take my belongings. Take my wealth. Take these things because I believe in you. When he did not get those things, he threw that label completely out. The Pinocchio threw the label. His nose grew and he threw the label because he was not made into a real boy, because he could not get that validation that he wanted. And I think that a Pinocchio is a very good term for that too, because if you actually know the real story of Pinocchio, his entire journey comes from him seeking to fulfill a wish. The wish being, I want to be a real boy. And contrary to the Disney version of the story, in the actual version of the version I read as a child, he gets punished for this, because what he looks to do is inherently this selfish, unfulfillable wish. He wants to change reality. He wants to become a real boy. And what makes him a real boy, the reason why he gets his wish granted in the end, is because he gives up on the wish of, I want to be a real boy, and instead he goes, I want to, do well for my father, the man who made me. I want to do well for him because he is sick, and I want to make him better. And that's the reason why he ends up becoming a real boy, is because he shifts that. Now, am I saying that a real man is a person that they sacrifice for others and they put others before themselves? No. But I'm saying it has nothing to do with this inherent wish that if I just become the title of boy, if I just gain the title of real boy, that does not change the fact that I'm Pinocchio. And it's the same thing with these men that come into MGTOW. They claim the title of MGTOW, saying, I'm a man going my own way. I'm my own man. I will talk all game. I will spit on the women. I will look down upon the women's, and I know my place because I am so alpha and I get all the poo, and I am king over all men because you should bow before me because I am so alpha, and look at my haircut and I'm spitting gum on the floor, and I am so alpha right now. I'm telling you, you cannot be as alpha as me. You're going to go extinct. That was actually the cycle of that channel right there. But it does not, at one point, there was not a single point where it changed the fact that this was still Pinocchio talking. He still wanted to become a real boy. At no point did he actually become a real boy. He did not ever become a MGTOW. He did not ever become his own man. He never gained sovereignty over himself. And when he failed to have that sovereignty, when he failed to gain that simple thing, it caused him, especially the moment that he made that last declaration, I am king, you should just listen to me because I am so alpha. And when people started making fun of him, that only reinforces the fact that he never once became a real boy. So now you have Pinocchio attempting to kind of, in a way, to, oh no, I'm not a real boy. No, I'm a real boy. I am a real boy. You're not the real boy. You're the fake. You're the doll. You are the wooden puppet that lies. And there, when you lie, your nose grows. That is you. That is not me. I am a real boy. You're not the real boy. My ex-wife was and is too masculine to be a good wife. That actually seems to be something I see a lot with, especially a lot of these women nowadays, actually, is they act like a bunch of men. And I'm not talking about men in the context of, oh, they're just a bunch of guys. I'm talking, they act as if they are the stereotypical douche. Like, I am, this is how a guy acts, right? I am a woman. I must act like men because this is what, being better is. So what do I think that a man does? Well, a man, doesn't carry themselves with any decorum, acts like a goddamn fool, doesn't actually do anything that's worthwhile, acts like, bro, what's up, man? You know, and they don't carry themselves with anything that shows any kind of, I mean, any energy, any self-respect, any kind of individuality. They really just act like a bunch of, hick bros. So, that's at least what I've seen. Other people may have seen other things, but that's it. What I've seen personally is they act like, bro, what's up, man? And, let's go fart in a corner and talk about, boobs. What? So if that's what you think men act like, I'm sorry to say, but we have everything else to talk about except for that. That subject will come eventually, and it's typically about something that's either funny or dark. But going back to the Pinocchio point, what does it mean for exactly traversable? They are frat boys. They act like frat boys because they think that's exactly what all men act like. We're just a bunch of frat boys. I'm gonna go hang out. Do some brewskis with the broskis. You know what I'm getting? Skis. But really, it comes into what makes a MGTOW real. What differentiates us between us and the Pinocchios? Was it because that we were not Pinocchios at one point? I don't know. I didn't see it in her until after two. Ooh, Thread, my heart goes out to you. I'm so sorry, but that's rough. I've seen some guys go through that where the first 1 or 2 years of their marriage is just stellar, and then they hit like year 2 or year 3, and suddenly just it falls apart, and they get to see the ugly truth, and that's a lot harder typically to pick up than the guy who saw it from the get-go. Um, but is it a question that should be asked? Were we Pinocchios too at one point? I don't think so, because the context of it is, and especially when it comes to MGTOW, these men, we ourselves, I don't believe I've ever had to lie to myself that I've been a man. I don't believe that I've ever had to lie to myself and tell myself that I should have, control to, over my own life, or that I should have control over these things. However, I have had to deal with the lie that I should sacrifice for another person. That's what makes me a real man. That I should put my entire being in my life and make my entire person as disposable as possible for another human being, because that is what makes me a real man. That's the lie that I've personally dealt with, and I think that that's something that other MGTOW men have dealt with the same thing too. That lie of disposability, that we are supposed to be disposable, that we are supposed to sell ourselves for another person, for a stranger, for society, for an ideology, for any and everything under the sun. That these are what men are disposable for. Even as something as simple as it's your day job. That's your disposability. Is your day job. You go to work and you work in a dangerous field, and you are one of the unfortunate men who your ticket just got punched. Death has come, and you are no more. Well, welcome. You were working a hard job. That was make you a real man. That's the fact that you died, the fact that you were disposable in that job. That's what makes you a real man. MGTOW tells you don't do that. MGTOW tells you your disposability has nothing to do with your personhood. And in fact, you should not put yourself in a position that is disposable. You should make yourself as indisposable as possible, because you yourself are worth more to you than anything else in this world. It should be you yourself as your most valuable asset, not the rest of the world or these things that you're supposed to spend yourself on. And that's the other thing that I think that we see in these falsehoods, these Pinocchios. They never once tell men to do that. They never once tell men, you right there in the camera, in the screen, on your phone, through your headset, on your laptop, whatever it is that you're using, if it somehow makes it into a book, you right now, I'm speaking to you, you are not disposable. You are very valuable. You are beyond valuable. You are a commodity that cannot be given a price. And because of that, you have the first foremost responsibility to ensure that your life is yours. Your sovereignty is yours. And your property is yours because you are that valuable. That's what I think separates the real MGTOW from the Pinocchio, the fakes, the falsehoods, the scams, because not a single one of them will ever tell you you are that valuable. And of course, I'll at least have some person at some point say, well, not all men are that valuable. They don't have to be to you. They don't have to be they don't have to be more valuable than currency. They don't have to be more valuable to you as anything. What matters is their inherent value in themselves. And if I can tell you that you matter that much because I think you matter that much, you should believe that too. You should find it within yourself to have that validation and to pull it out of you and believe in that inherent value that you mean that much. And that you should have the responsibility then therefore for yourself, your sovereignty, your person. It is not to be wasted on these women. It is not to be wasted on society. It is not to be wasted on a philosophy, an ideal, a country. These are not things that you waste that life on. These are not things that you throw away. A job, you think that your life is worth, so little. These are things that you should not put. I'm not discrediting people that before anyone, gets to that point. I'm not telling you what you do isn't manly or any of that. What I'm telling you is, what are you making yourself disposable for? What are you trying to spend yourself on? Because I'm telling you, in most cases, you're losing right now because you're making a bad bet. You are making a bad purchase, and you are not getting your full value out of it. You need to barter higher. Those are rookie numbers. Those numbers need to get up. You need to go out there and really demand what it is that you are valued for. And that's what MGTOW really is at the end of the day, is it demands of you that if you take this path, if you choose your own path, whatever path it may be, that path will demand of you that you find every part of that value, that you find every part of that value in yourself, in your sovereignty, in your person, in your possessions, and you not only be grateful for it, but God damn it, you're going to make it worth as much as possible because you're going to improve upon it. You're going to make it better. You're going to choose that path, but at the end of the day, you're going to make it better. Thank you, Silent Sage. But really, and that's really what I think separates the fakes from the real. Because I feel like this is not a message that has been said, long. It has not been said enough. It's not something that's been said. And that's the other reason why I wanted to do this live is because I didn't know I was going to say that. But I got to this point and I decided, this is something I want to say. Hello, when in doubt. And I work hard and pay taxes because I like showers in a warm bed and I've lived out of a van. I've been in the same situation, Thread. And that's the thing is, it's at the end of the day, though, when it comes to it, there's certain things that you can do to better your life in a way that you don't have to just throw yourself out there and go, okay, now I'm in danger. Is the risk worth it? Is the cost-benefit analysis there? Did you do something to actually ensure that what it is that you put yourself into is worth what you're going to get back out of it? So, and that's what I like about MGTOW is MGTOW demands of you. If you are actually serious about this, if you are actually living this, it demands you do cost-benefit analysis because you have value that is unmatched by anything else out there. My one better, yeah, absolutely. So, in fact, one of the happiest moments in my military career was I lived in basically an abandoned building, and it was the greatest freaking time of my life because I made it that way. And that's the other thing about it too that comes into play is there is an inherent attitude that has to go into this too. And that's what the other thing that the Pinocchios, these men that, oh, I'm so MGTOW, I'm so alpha, I'm so, Chad, I am PUA God incarnate. I am the God King. You will go extinct because I demand it of you. The reason why these guys fail time and time and time again is because the attitude's not there. They're not earnest. They're not real. And they don't ever tell you anything that actually has any meaning to it. And in fact, what they sit there and tell you is, yeah, women suck. Yeah, this is bad. Yeah, this is great. Hey, buy my soap. Pay me money. Don't worry that my nose has grown and that you're beginning to see I'm not a real boy. Don't worry about that. Just buy my soap. Come on now, buy the soap. Everything will be made all kinds of better if you just buy the soap. So, but don't drop it. Just buy it. Really, honestly, at the end of the day, and this is the same thing I have the issue with what's going on right now with. I don't know why there's a sudden conflict with incels and MGTOW. I don't know why this is happening again. I thought this was put to rest, but again, it's the same exact thing. Incel. At what point does this philosophy? At what point does this red-pilled manosphere, like both PUA and incel? At what point do these actually tell you you matter as a human being and you, goddamn it, should take care of your own life because you actually have value? Oh yeah, I have no problem with win cells either. I'm talking about and when in doubt, you know exactly what I'm talking about with these guys who, oh, MGTOW just keep looking down on us. You think you're so much better because you don't, like you don't think you're like us. You're just fooling yourselves. You're not really like that. You're an incel just like me. That's what I'm talking about. And at the end of the day, this is the question I really wanted to get out there, especially with this is, at what point does your idea, your philosophy, your community, your lifestyle, whatever the hell the other two you guys want to label it as, at what point will it tell you you matter as a man and that you have the inherent responsibility, the inherent right, but I say responsibility because you do have a responsibility as a MGTOW man to actually give a damn about yourself, to actually care about yourself, because you have that value. And I'm just going to keep talking about that. I'm going to keep hitting on that because I want to nail that point. I want to literally, if I could, just take a chisel and just carve it into stone into a mountainside, that you have value. No matter what society says, no matter what women say, no matter what the PUA say, no matter what the incels, no matter what the manosphere says, the red pill, blue pill, up, down, left, right, circle, double, square, whatever cheat code that they want to put into the system, whether this is the Matrix reality, a dream, whatever this is, you have value. And exactly what the point that I wanted to make with that, there's so much cognitive dissonance with the actual incels. There is so much cognitive dissonance, and it's what bothers me the most about it is the eternal loop that they put themselves on. There's no self-improvement. There's no growth. There's nothing that community ever actually offers to these men other than, oh, here's a pity party you can come to. But no, instead what they offer these other men is, you're not having sex, therefore you're an incel. But why am I an incel? Well, it's because you're not having sex. And just that hamster spins that wheel round and round and round. And this is the reason why both me and When in Doubt, we want to get out there and change it. We want to change it to Wincel. Why am I not having sex? Because I'm freaking winning, dude. Like, have you seen what's going on in the world right now? This is awesome. Why am I winning? Because I'm not having sex. Holy shit. Like that's a difficult concept, And look at the change in the language there. Like even if you try to say that like I'll try to say that sentence right now as happy as possible. I'm an incel because I'm not having sex. Why am I an incel? Because I'm not having sex. See how that still sounds negative? Yes. And that's the thing is they're so hung up on the concept of female validations. And the thing is, and the PUAs are no different. The PUAs have the same exact hamster wheel. The only difference is, why am I a PUA? So I can have sex. Well, why am I trying to have sex? Because I'm a PUA. It spins on the same fucking wheel. Excuse my language. You know, not really though. It's a free country still for the moment. But it's exactly that. And they just sit there and they spin on these hamster wheels. They don't grow. They don't actually offer men anything that's really tangible. They don't offer men anything besides more, you know, they basically, they just sit there. It's a Pinocchio building factory. We're going to build more Pinocchios. We're going to make you into real boys. We'll give you a title that'll make you a real boy. It'll make your pain, your suffering, and your life real now, because we're going to give you a title. And then these guys, when PUA gets attacked by Me Too and completely driven out of clubs in the night scene, and when the incel community starts getting hit with Me Too, because one, they can't go PUA now, so they can't, you know, buy into that because that's too dangerous. And then they go to work and they get, you know, basically Me Too'd because they're undesirable people to be around at work for women. And yes, this is actually something that's happening right now. So both these communities get hit with Me Too. So then they come to MGTOW, because MGTOW's like, hey, we have a solution for you. It's called the Mike Pence rule. It's called the MGTOW rule. It's called you ghost. You just fade out. But they don't lose that Pinocchio value. They think now that because they're oh, I call myself a MGTOW, I'm not Pinocchio anymore. I'm a real boy. And then it doesn't change them. Nothing changes. They don't just, you know, the magic doesn't kick in. The spell doesn't kick in. The wood doesn't turn into flesh, and the nose doesn't stop growing when they lie. And no matter how long they sit there and go, well, I'm a MGTOW, 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 I'm a MGTOW. No matter how much they say that word, the spell doesn't go off. The magic fails and they are stuck Pinocchio. But at the end of the day, the funny thing about all of this is, at the end of the day, they're the ones that call themselves Pinocchio. They're the ones that in their own minds recognize themselves as the Pinocchios. They understand that they're not real men. They understand that they're not real boys. They understand that whatever concept of a man that they have, they cannot possibly reach it. And the only person stopping them, and as much as they like to hate on MGTOW, as much as they like to say that we're responsible, we just keep looking down on them. You know, heal, peon, heal. You are not MGTOW. Know your place, scum. As much as they like to say that we have this mentality, they have one. For one, I really have not seen actual proof of that. And two, the only person stopping you is you. So far in my adventure into all of this, you know, between both learning and evolving, and then finally getting to the point where I started making content, and then, you know, now that I've been making content, getting out there and getting involved with the community and really actually talking with other men and experiencing different things and experiencing different ideas and experiencing just different views of the world around me. I get the wonderful thing. I get to actually talk to other intelligent men on the other side of the globe. It's amazing. It's great. And I get to grow from that experience. But the reason because of that is because I haven't fooled myself for a second into thinking that if I do this, I'll become a real boy. I won't become a real boy because of this. I won't just suddenly magically turn into a man because of this experience. I won't wake up one morning and go, wow, oh, buddy, I'm feeling awfully manly today. This is great. Oh, this testosterone makes me so alpha. That's not going to happen. And at no point did any MGTOW, well, okay, I'm going to disclaimer that I'm not actually sure the validity of the statement, but I can say for actual consistency purposes, most MGTOW don't offer this pipe dream of, if you become MGTOW, you'll become a real man. That's false. That's a fallacy. That doesn't exist. You just saying that you're MGTOW, or you even practicing MGTOW, will not make you a real man. Because at the end of the day, the only goddamn person that gets to determine that is really you. Your actions get to speak to that. But who's responsible for your actions? Well, Pinocchio, it's not Gestapo. It's not the whale. It's not even the fairy. It's you. You're the only person responsible for that. So at no point should you sit there and point the finger. There is no real man. We are all real. Well, and that's exactly it. So the point I was making with this is really coming to full circle. I'm not here to, here's the real man, here's a fake man, here's a Pinocchio, here's, some dude, in a corner crying. That they're all men. The difference is what they do with it. Who gets to decide who you are? Really, no one. But it's your actions that get to speak to the content of your character and to your person. So I said earlier, you right now, I'm telling you, you have value unmatched. It's amazing. It's incredible. And your ability, your sovereignty, your rights matter. Your life matters. These things matter. But at the end of the day, your actions will speak to your character. And if you are a man who does not match his value or exceed it or seek to match or exceed it, this is where the problem lies. Because now not only are you selling yourself short, but other men know you're selling yourself short. And then when you lie about it, or you're a man that you see your value, but you overestimate exactly what you're capable of. Not what you're worth, what you're capable of. And that's the reason why I used that example earlier. I am king. You listen to me. I am the king of who? An internet community? Oh wow, look at me. I am king on the digital milk box, on my little hill in the middle of nowhere. I'm wearing the emperor's clothes, and I'm telling you, I am king. Listen to me. That's really, and when you say a statement like that, and when you decree that, I feel that you are inferior to me and you should be punished as such, and when you get laughed and ridiculed by the mob, is anyone really surprised? But that's also why I call them Pinocchios, because they have this mindset that if they find some kind of truth, if they find some kind of meaning, if they find some kind of being, they'll be made into real men, that they'll be made into this glorious vision of man and rule over other inferior men, because I am real and you are false. But that in and of itself is a lie. And because of that, that's what makes them not, I wouldn't say not real, but I would definitely say it not only just lessens their value, but it makes them not as it not even not lessens value. It's finding words. Give me a second. Look, really, it's honestly what it comes down to is this very concept in and of itself of the man, because he is incapable of understanding that he is actually a man no matter what he does. He might not be a real MGTOW. He might not be a real, red pill. He might not be a real man who understands the manosphere or the things that are going on in it. But what really he is at the end of the day is he'll become a liar. And that's what I meant by Pinocchio, is that he lies not to other people, but to himself. Because he sits there and considers himself not real. I have to prove my existence. I have to prove my reality. I have to prove that I am a real boy. Lock myself into a corner. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I look at that more as fleshing the thought out a bit more instead of just. I think it was a. Sure, I am on Hangouts. Just made of it. How big is a man? Exactly. How big is he? Is there an expectation? Is there a minimal measurement? Is there a quantification? Is there something that we have to go ahead and provide to someone? Is there something that we have to, some kind of overall overarching theme that we have to meet, a measurement of a man? How big do we have to be? Let's see here. Glorious male brain only capable of doing one thing at a time. Multitasking is false, no matter what anyone tells you. It does not exist. How big are the things that upset you? Oh, I like that. How big are the things that upset you? So, honestly, that's something. I have this issue a lot where it's. Oh, actually, I had it this morning where I had a lot of things that were going wrong, and um, I actually had an option. I had this. I was starting to spin down this spiral of, uh, oh, today's going to be a bad day. This morning's going to suck. This morning, and I'm like, wait a minute, stop. Some things went wrong. Some things aren't doing well. It's not bad, not yet. I still have my legs. I can still walk and talk and breathe and live and do these things. I'm still driving in my car. I'm still doing these things. So is it really a bad morning? Is it really a bad thing? And when you put it into perspective, I think that's really what comes into play is when we're talking the size of things. What is the perspective of what we're talking about? To us, the cosmos looks huge. What does it look like to a god? You know, obviously asking this question for conjecture, not actually, it's more of a rhetorical question of, or for a prime example, to an ant, what is a building? What does a building look like to an ant? To us, it looks like a building. To an ant, it looks like an entire universe, an entire world. It is that huge. You answered the call and nothing happened. Oh, that's odd. Yeah, I've been noticing there's some odd things going on with YouTube and social media, right? So, not sure what it's supposed to, if it means anything at all. But, let's see here. Technical difficulties. Can we figure it out? Will Google let us? Oh, wait. I know what I did. I made a mistake. Thank you, YouTube, for allowing me to speak in a public area that's not public because you're a business with a private corporation that's able to take me off and deplatform me at any time because, I don't have a right to speak unless you allow me to. So I just wanted to take this time and thank you, YouTube, for allowing me to speak on your public platform that's not public. Thank you. Did it work now? Is it better? Is it working? Let's see. I do not believe it is working. That's unfortunate.
Yo, what's going on, Joe?
Hello, when in doubt. How are you?
Chilling. Killing.
Babies?
No, not yet. That'll come later.
All right. So, obviously, the topic for today is what makes a MGTOW real. So, this is coming out of really what I've seen from backlash that's resulting from the PUA nonsense that's going on right now. But
Yeah, see, so actually, I really like the question. This I've okay. So I answered this question in one of my videos of what is man, and really, if you don't understand what being a man is, you can't understand what being a MGTOW is. Because you have to be a man. You have to be a man first.
Exactly, and that's the. So I know that you made a comment about that. I do believe that was in reference to my Pinocchio allegory, but that's exactly what I was getting at. Is the reason if you look at the original story of Pinocchio, the entire time because he was searching to become a real boy. That is why he did not find he was not capable of being a real boy because he was still looking for it because he was actually a boy all the entire time. You know, um, that was, and of course it explains it. A nice fairy tale story. There's magic and some fairy godmother and someone gets hit in the head with a stick and good things happen. But really, that's what I was getting at was he seeks this entire time to get this valid. I'm a real boy. I need to be a real boy. I'm going on a quest so I can be a real boy. Not realizing the entire time he was always a real boy. So just the fact that his form was different did not detract from the fact that he was a boy. And
so I see what you're saying, and basically you're saying that um, all MGTOW are MGTOW, and all men can be MGTOW. Yes.
I do believe that all men have the potential to do so. All men have. People have potential to do a lot of things. It doesn't mean that they'll act on it. It doesn't mean that they'll ever actually do it.
For
No.
sure. So then,
But
how can we objectively tell if a man is MGTOW or not?
again, it goes to what I was talking about earlier. How you validate your existence. What are you looking to validate for your existence? To
No,
me,
that's internal. That would be like determining if you yourself is a MGTOW or not. How can you determine if someone else is a MGTOW?
I don't think you I don't think you can actually really do that other than honestly, because everyone's path is different. I don't really have the option to tell you your path is wrong. You don't really have the option to tell me it's wrong. You can, but I'll probably just blow it off and say, okay, well, there's the door. But at the end of the day, I can't say whether or not you're really MGTOW or the level of it, or the extreme. Because then we get into the concept of, well, then what makes a real man? Because it's the whole purpose of MGTOW is to essentially reclaim your life as a man. So,
Well, I would say, in response to the question of what makes a MGTOW real, it would be realizing the identity of a MGTOW, not just clicking a like on a video or watching videos or like fuck bitches. No, it's about being a man, understanding yourself, knowing what you want, and going after it.
well,
Not, not without apology, unapologetically.
well, and that's the thing is it goes into, we've talked about this before. It's living it. It's
Yes.
not just talking the game, it's living it. And that's what we're seeing right now with these guys that come into, especially with the MGTOW community lately, because it's a growing community. It's very successful. It's going to be more successful as the years go on. So you have these people coming in here attempting to make a quick buck, which should be obviously first indicator of if they're looking for money, what are you here for kind of thing. But to be completely honest, you can talk cool game, you can talk, amazingly all this time. I can right now, smooth talk my way into whatever I want. If I'm not living this at the end of the day, I'm not real. And really the only person that gets to see that, unless we all suddenly, get in a community and we're all just a MGTOW community, then we can, I think it would be easier to validate, whether or not there's a reality to this. But since we're talking over, online, it comes into the point of, if there's signs shown that there's actually growth occurring. And what I mean by that is, even in the last month or so that I've been active on YouTube and doing this stuff, I've been growing significantly. And I think that many people can attest that my public speaking in my videos is, a lot better than what I was starting with 20 videos ago. So there's a growth there. There's something occurring, and it's not just showmanship. There's an actual purpose going on here.
It's an investment and it's
Exactly.
outcome.
So, and that's what I think really shows the difference between an actual MGTOW and the seriousness of it, or someone that's just kind of here because, well, I have nowhere else to go. There's nowhere else to hang, fun to hang out. And there's all these guys over here. So, what's up, guys? Because I've seen plenty of those guys too. They come to MGTOW thinking that they're going to make all these friends. We're all going to be bros and it's a big man club and everyone's friends and, we high five each other and talk about girls. It's like, no, we don't.
Well, wait, hold on. What you just said, basically all of that happens for me. So.
Well, no, okay, but did you come into this expecting that, looking for that, or was it just I want to learn more, I want to be involved?
Yes, actually, I did looking for community. I was looking for community. That's right.
I guess that's then what I was looking for was really, I kept watching the videos, I kept seeing things, I kept hearing things, and it was driving me absolutely insane because I just had this feeling that I needed to do anything to just deal with what was going on. And my answer was to make videos and talk.
Yeah, I hear you for sure. Definitely. That's part of why I do what I do, because it's one thing I can do.
Yeah.
But I mean, the idea itself of looking at the MGTOW community as a place to like find yourself or your place or to grow your voice, like you just said, you did. I think it's all good. I think it's all definitely good for that. The only
Yeah.
problem is when you already have a direction and it's not necessarily aligning with the ideas and values that MGTOW talk about, and then subvert, invade, and try to make money out of it. That's the issue for me.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're really seeing. Because obviously the two famous, well, actually the three really famous, well, now four. My apologies. There's four of them now, which I listed off earlier. Yogi, Alexander, LFA, and Angry. These are four men that are primary examples of the PUA mentality that they weren't able to let it go. Because and you see that even in their other content when they were talking about, well, I am a MGTOW, I'm doing this, because they still talk about getting game. They still talk about, oh, I'm so alpha, I'm so game, I have to go out and get the women, but I'm MGTOW because I need to protect myself. It's like, what why are you even referencing this? Doesn't matter to this community. No one that watches these videos, if they're actually MGTOW, gives a damn what you're doing with women, so long as you know if you're not put in a situation where it's like, hey guys, I just got me too, for what? you know that's
Yeah,
a different story. But that would be like if I started this live stream, which I'm sure that everyone, I would like to hear some comments back on this one. If I started the live stream, hi, I'm your average Joe and I slay poon all the goddamn time, does anyone actually care?
I'll give you a little golf clap like this.
Well, look at you, you're so amazing, and that's exactly what they get. So, but the thing is, it's an indicator of where their mind is still at. They still want that validation, and
Well,
especially,
okay, so
yeah,
since like you said before, it's hard to tell the genuinity of someone and what their actual goals are.
that's true.
So, with that in mind, if someone comes into the community and they want to make money off the community, just that in general, that idea of wanting to provide a service to the MGTOW community and getting paid for it, do you think that's negative?
Depends on the service. The Dollhouse provides a service. They came into this community. They're not MGTOW. They're not a part of it, but they looked at the people that were involved in MGTOW and said, "Oh, these are our customers," and they came in and said, "Hey, we'll support TFM. We'll support different guys that he's involved with, and do that kind of stuff." So if it's just the intention to come in here and make money and do a business that's not negative to men, I don't really have an issue with it, although it's subjective because we've had this conversation. We're both in favor of the transhuman concept. There's other MGTOW that are very much against it. So, but to each their own at the end of the day. So I do believe that dolls are an extremely effective and very honestly just great way to deal with, one, the male sex drive, and B, well, one and B, yes. I'm sticking on that list right now. It's amazing, the list making that's going on here. But the second part about this would be that it's also an effective message to women. I would rather have sex with an inanimate object that looks like a woman than an actual woman. I'd rather invest my resources in something that looks like a woman than an actual woman. I would rather spend the rest of my life with her, this thing that I can replace you with, than you, because that's exactly the situation that you've created. That's the other part of it that I like, is because yes, dolls do send that message.
You know what, one of my favorite things about sex dolls, you have
Besides,
to pay extra for them to talk. You have to pay extra to get a woman to shut up.
no, you pay less. No, you have to pay for her to open her mouth.
Yes.
I mean that. Honestly, I look at it this way. And you know what? I actually I like what Thread just said there, because it's a much simpler version of what I was going to say. But And simple is a lot better. The sex is almost like a drug. Pump and dump MGTOWs have an addiction, and they are proud of it. It's the reason why. Well, I'm gonna fill in some words. It's the reason why I don't get set up with them, and that's exactly it. There's a lot of guys that, and this goes into our conversation earlier about the concept of the power of the virgin, the concept of whether or not these men are actually more or less benefited by the fact that they're virgins or not. And this is why I say that they are benefiting from it, is because they don't have that temptation. The temptation is having sex, but when you see that the rest of your life is already just great and you don't really need a woman, that temptation does lessen. So depends on how you define virginity. If you're a man that you look at virginity and the concept thereof that I'm a loser because I can't lose it, well, then you're going to be more likely to fall for that temptation, not go against it. But if you understand that I'm a virgin, so what's your point? Then that temptation really largely does not exist.
So I was talking, as you know, with MGTOW values, and then Hammerhand did a video pretty much talking about it as well. And I think it's a really good point. I tried making it on a comment on one of MTMM's videos, but he deleted it. And it's a question. When this happened, where PUAs came into the community and played game on all these guys to get them to sub and listen to what they're saying, the issue here is that, guys felt betrayed. They felt misled, and there was a backlash due to it. But the question that I think you have to ask yourself is, be honest with yourself and ask yourself, what made you think they were worth trusting in the first place? You knew their background. You
Well,
knew what they were about. What really made you think that they were okay to trust?
well, and again, it goes back to my Pinocchio analogy. You can clearly see it's Pinocchio. Their nose grows every time they lie. You can, and the thing is, I love it when PUAs. I'm a masterful liar. Anyone that's ever dealt with a chronic liar or someone that has to lie, or is a compulsive liar, you are a walk in the park. Which, if anyone's dealt with, and I'm not going to say most women are. I've personally dealt with quite a few people in my life that are compulsive liars. They have to lie constantly. So I can, it's something that you get to pick out and see what's true and what's not. They give information off in other ways. PUAs, in large part, are compulsive liars because they have to lie to themselves in order for them not to feel stupid or bad about the life decisions they're making. I'm not going to say that they're stupid or bad about it, like what they're doing. You do you. I think it's foolish in the era where literally one accusation will put you in jail, and I don't have $10,000 to protect myself in court. Do you?
Hmm.
You know? So that's the reason why I look at it in the fact that anyone that's been paying attention, especially when it comes to PUAs, they are liars. They're compulsive liars. It's part of the training that you go through is to compulsively lie to women. What makes you think that you're going to, not lie to men? So, and what I mean by compulsive lie to women, not every single PUA is this successful, great-looking guy who's well put together and all that. Some of them are and the thing is, in fact, almost all of them aren't. It's a lie. It's a sham. It's an illusion. You put on the illusion of a successful man. That's what draws in the women, is because you're playing off of their hypergamistic instinct.
Yeah,
PUA in
and
a
then
nutshell.
the business there is to get the less attractive guys to pay you for your advice or
Exactly.
products or whatever.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that you're lying to them because you could, like, I just gave you a $2,000 class for free. You literally just no, literally that's it. You change a look. You look for what is the not the most trendy thing. You look at what the most successful man in the world looks like. You play it down 2 notches, and then you go dress up like that. You buy the car, you dress up like that, you talk like that, you carry yourself like that, and you make it look like you have that kind of money. You'll get okay. You will get most women if you're at least an average looking guy. If you play that game right there. And if you can make it work, if you can make that lie work and that illusion work, boom, congratulations. You are now Master PUA. You know, like,
Yeah. So you know
congratulations.
what I've done recently that's really fun?
Hmm.
I put myself up on a dating website, and
Oh God.
I have a severely MGTOW dating profile. The first few sentences are, "If you're a feminist, fuck off, fuck yourself, and block me, please."
Have you gotten any matches?
A few. Yes, I've had a few conversations. But some women just scroll right by that. They understand, and just talk anyways.
That's interesting.
That's what I said. I was like, "Well, I'm getting more responses than I thought I would."
Of course, I would also say that that's also probably a bit more dangerous because then you could be dealing with some of the, oh, you don't like feminists, we'll fix that kind of thing.
Oh, hadn't really thought about that, but yeah.
You okay? So this is again one of my personal philosophies in life, and it really has never led me astray. But when it comes to dealing with other people, I take things and I twist them like to put it on a level. If you can look at it like a dial, there's sanity on one side and insanity on the left. Like, insanity on the right, sanity on the left. Most
Right.
people are 2 clicks right. If you want to understand what most people are thinking about or how they view things, take it 3 clicks right, 2 clicks left, and then 10 clicks right again. Why does that seem like necessary? That seems really random and stupid. Well, that's because exactly what people do. They go little crazy, then they rationalize, and then they go completely off the rocker.
Huh.
Most people follow that to the T. They will do something that's a little bit, like, oh, I'm just this kind of person. They'll make it seem a little bit logical, and then they'll just completely like slam you with something that's like, wow, that's out of left field.
So I have a question for both you and the viewers, and then I will answer the question myself.
All right.
In all of your sexual experiences, which has been the most pleasing? Sex with yourself or sex with someone else?
It's actually kind of Joe, I broke the dial page. Help, dial peg. Oh. um, let's see. Sex with self or sex with other person. Which one did I enjoy more?
Okay,
Honest.
since you're thinking about it, I'll go ahead and answer first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
I've had a lot of great sex both by myself and with someone else. But the greatest orgasm I've ever had is I went deaf for a minute. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I wasn't able to reproduce this, but I was sitting there, just going at it. And then when the moment arrived, I just lost my hearing for a few seconds, and then like it slowly came back after 30, 40 seconds.
Like your
Yeah,
brain, your
but
brain
I was
was
just like, wow, I just
overloaded.
orgasmed myself to deafness. It was an amazing orgasm, and it was just from masturbation. So yeah, I haven't been able to reproduce it, but I've been trying.
You know what? When in doubt, every time we talk, I feel like this turns into like the Howard Stern show. Like we always have like at least one of these moments. But no, honestly, I would say that I preferred myself, and before someone goes, wait a minute, what? Let me explain.
It doesn't mean he's sucking his own dick. Relax.
If I was that flexible, do you think I'd be talking right now?
Ah.
There we go. Yeah, no. But the real reason behind it was, and this is something I've heard other guys talk about it, and really, I thought TFM slammed this point home. Sex is not always that great for a man because you're expected to basically make sure she orgasms 2 to 3 times more than you do. So it basically takes sex and makes it not fun
That's
because
true. I tell the bitches look, it's a race. If I get there before you, that's your fault.
I win, you lose. Suck. No, well, but the thing about it really that I think is for most men because they want to be literally, I am Antonio Banderas, like in bed, like I am the rockin', just like you cannot beat me. I am better than you, that kind of, guy. It ruins it because then you're sitting there like performing and like doing handstands and all kinds of other crazy shit, trying to make sure that she's having the best night of her life, and you're just like, When do I get to have my turn? Oh wait, last 30 seconds and go. Like, that's fun. Wow. Or it's, oh, this looks interesting. I feel disgusted with myself, but I'm going to continue on anyways. That's way more entertaining.
To be honest, I couldn't tell the difference in what you were saying because it all sounded fun to me.
These are all good things. I don't see the negative.
Yeah.
Perspective. But no. Honestly,
What about you guys in chat? What do you prefer, yourself or with someone else?
well, Thread says Becky, but apparently Becky hit the wall pretty hard right now. Which Thread, do you think that she's gonna hit it hard enough to bounce off of it or to crack it? Or will she be the first woman to hit the wall so hard she actually goes through it? I've seen some women try to do that. They literally
You can't go
ramp
through
up.
the wall.
Well, no. There was actually a woman who she basically started. She like took all the breaks out, was having like sex with every guy she could come across, like doing everything in her power to basically like, because she knew she even said I'm gonna hit the wall here soon. So what she was trying to do was she was trying to basically hit the wall so hard that she somehow like would break it because she's having so much sex and so much partying and so much just insane shit. Apparently, yeah, no, she hit the wall so hard she turned into
Disintegrated.
no, she looks like oh god, what's there was this oh, she looks like modern Jessica Simpson.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen a recent picture of Jessica Simpson.
Okay, take Jessica Simpson the last time you remember her and add about 150 pounds.
Oh, oh no. No, why would you do that to the precious memory of Jessica Simpson with the tuna of the sea or the chicken of the tuna or something?
I ruined so many things for you in that one moment, didn't I? She hit the knots before impact. Yes, she did. No, she put she literally like put jetpacks on. She's like, thrusters. She's like, Mach 5. I'm gonna hit this wall and break it. Splatters into it, literally atomizes, becomes part of the wall.
See, that's the fucked up thing too. Is I always had like a huge crush on Jessica Simpson, and then when their marriage between her and Nick were on TV, I felt so bad for Nick because like every show, every few minutes or even every few seconds, she would just be dumb as fuck, and I felt so bad for him. Like, dude, this is what you chose. Like, that sucks.
Well, I think it's hilarious when speaking of, if we're gonna talk about this reality show, nonsense. First of all, I think I don't hate many things in this world. I hate reality TV. I'll say that. Reality TV was the moment that entertainment in whole died. It started dying right that first freaking episode. What was it? Orange County on MTV. But every time I see like a relationship on there, and first of all, it's always this overhyped nonsense. But people go, "Oh, there's no script." Well, of course there's no script because you know what happens when you put camera on people? They
They
decide
get
that
fake as fuck.
well, no, it goes back to the dial. Remember how I said they go 2 clicks, right, and then they go a little bit left, and then they go back right.
Yeah.
Literally goes right, and then somehow stops, and then goes right again. Like it never goes left again. It just goes right. Like it never hits sanity again. It just continues to get more and more insane. The jet suit is real. A company named yes, I've seen that actually. That thing is freaking awesome, and I can't wait for them to actually move beyond a prototype, like an actual jet suit. Can you imagine taking that to work? Taking my jet suit to work.
No, if I had a jet suit, I would make myself a superhero. Which
What were
really means I'd be a vigilante. I would be arrested within a few weeks, but those
oh,
first few weeks would be awesome.
what's your superpower? Glock to the face. What?
I don't have a superpower, but I have a jet suit and guns. Stop me.
You can't stop me. But no, again, I think none of this really ties into what we were talking about before, but again, I think my Pinocchio allegory is accurate. Do you think it's too far off base? I'm just curious.
I think it can be a little confusing. It's a bit much of an abstraction.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, perhaps a little bit too far out there. But then again, you know, red pill, blue pill, that is a bit of an abstraction in of itself. So that's what I've.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it's a dichotomy. It's truth and falsehood, red and blue, just two different primary colors, truth or false, two different options. It's a direct dichotomy.
yeah, okay, yeah. So a little bit simpler. But I do love what Silent Sage just said. I'd be the guy who whiskey throttles his jet suit into a Honda Civic.
Whoops.
Hello, Bob. How are you this
What up, brother
evening?
Bob?
But no, really, I think that when it comes to defining what I don't think I agree with you completely. There's not really a way to you don't define is he a real man? Is he not a real man? I say what do his actions speak to?
Exactly. I would definitely agree with you. A
So
man's actions are what determine what he does. And
yeah.
when
So and
Yogi and guys like him eventually uh, to overstep that bound of where you're curious or you're suspicious or you're skeptical of their motives, once they show their true colors, then you have to judge them based on it. That's just reality. I just choose to be a little bit more skeptical and reserved.
yeah, I mean, I'm not. Again, this is not to point the finger. Go, oh look at all these people over here. They're conspirators. That's But I would say that it's the same thing. The same thing as with the man. It's the same thing with MGTOW. It's your actions speak exactly to who you are. So, and again, it goes into what you're talking about, and it's something as very simple as what I was saying before. Every single one of these instances, I never once heard these men talk about the validity and value of a man. You matter. You have value. You have this inherent value that whatever you've been told, it's not disposable. It's indisposable.
I hear you. Yeah, and it's actually it's funny too because it's another tie-in, another direct tie-in to Fight Club. If you remember the scene where they get on the bus and they look at the Calvin Klein ad,
Yep.
self creation is masturbation. Self destruction, that's enlightenment. So, when you're worried about just getting better and just building up your body so you can get bitches, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. It's good to build up your body, it's good to be healthy and strong. But if you're doing it for them, you're not doing it for you, then you're just hurting yourself because you're taking that thing that you're putting your time into and building up and allowing someone else to assess the value of it.
Well, and exactly that. And the other thing that I also noticed is the common, because it's now become it's was at first it was a coincidence. Now it's possible correlation, maybe some causation. We're beginning to see a trend now, and there's two things with that. The first one is they never talk about the value of man. And the second one is they always end up at some point referring to the age old. Well, if men just buck up to the plate and take responsibility and just like deal with things, this would all be fine. If men just take responsibility, what am I taking responsibility for? I just showed up.
Yeah, that could be a really confusing. Like, if I were to hear a MGTOW say something about take responsibility, I would have to assume that they were talking about take responsibility for your actions, take responsibility for the things you care about, invest yourself into the things you hold dear, stuff like that. Not
Yeah.
take responsibility for other people.
Well, and it really has to do with what I was talking about earlier, which is I believe that you have an inherent responsibility because you are so valuable. You goddamn better take care of yourself. You better ensure that you are doing the best for yourself because you deserve that. you have that responsibility. I hand that like I'm telling you, you have that responsibility, in my belief at least. So you can take it however you want, but I'm telling you that I believe that because you're valuable, you have that responsibility.
Well, I mean,
But
really, it's not even a matter of beliefs.
yeah,
If you're alive and you can utter the word "I" and you're a person with a working brain, you automatically have the responsibility of progressing your life.
unfortunately, there's a large portion of society that does automatically disqualify for that. But the other thing I also noticed was their downfall always seems to come completely tied to a girl on YouTube.
At first, I thought you were gonna say like a girl on girl. I'm like, but how is that a downfall?
It's always the goddamn lesbians. Like, come on, man, get with the program. It's 2019. It's always the lesbians.
Actually, you're probably not wrong.
No, this year has been extremely interesting because of the lesbians, but that's a topic for another time. So I actually, for some reason, one, Google is having some weird things. I'm answering Bob right now. Google is doing some weird things to me. Two, I cannot find this picture on my computer anymore, so I don't know what happens to it. Yeah. So I'm just going to keep it this from now on. So I was also informed during one of the previous live streams that the weird avatars were too distracting. So I figured I'd bring it back to something a bit more, get a brand going, like give
Good
people some
idea.
real.
Whoever gave you that advice, man, damn, they're a good guy right there.
Oh, no one liked him. No one thought it was funny or a little edgy. Nothing.
No, I'm sure
No.
people did.
Well, look here. Here's an edge lord. Oh God, here we go. But no, because I think it's very interesting that I'm not sure in the case specifically of Angry MGTOW. I don't know about his case, but I do know for a fact of when it comes to Alexander and Yogi, it's Amy Young and Georgia Free, and I know LFA was also dealing with. There was another female YouTuber. I don't know her name though, but she was also responsible for him pulling out this. I'm a white knight now. And the reason why I think it's actually hilarious with Yogi is I'm like, dude, did you not get the message? White knights are dead. That's gone. You know. So, do you see the same thing or?
To be honest, no. I don't pay attention to PUA. I don't pay attention because when I see those guys and that's the content that they're doing, I know their game. I know that they're all game. That's what they do. So I ignore it.
I'm a weird person. I love to study other people and especially what they're doing. I like to know what I don't know. I'm fascinated by understanding other paradigms because either I can use it to further my own view of the world or I can use it as okay, so this is something I should avoid because of this.
No, yeah,
And
I
because
get it, and that's a good thing to do. I'm just saying, when I already understand what it is, I don't need to waste my time consuming it.
yeah. Thread, I am not the Chad in my avatar, but I am wearing the robe. None of us are the Chads in our avatars. Although this guy, I honestly I don't know who this man is in my avatar because this is a stock photo I found online. So, but he has a thinning hairstyle. I feel like he looks like Asian almost. So,
Oh, here's a little update.
yep,
Um, in my Project Mayhem announcement video, I have you and a bunch of other MGTOW in my video. So yeah, there's that little teaser for you guys.
this should be interesting.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with where it's going so far. Still got a lot of work to do though.
It's it's Mike on your avatar. Yes, yes, it is. But yeah, Mike the MGTOW. Is it Mike the MGTOW monk? That would be hilarious. That
No,
would
I don't
be
think so. It doesn't look like Mike's profile.
no. He would have. I mean, similar build, but not quite the same face. But anyways, oh shit, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking? We were Project Mayhem. What was right before that?
Hmm. Your picture.
Well, that's unfortunate. We lost the topic. Rest in peace.
No, it was your picture.
Well, no, I know it was the picture, but I forgot what it was. Who was on the picture? But there was something before that too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, all right, moving on. I still see Knights and Sims in public. Yeah. Well, okay. I see some of them, but I largely see that, unlike the last at least 4 years, when it comes to white knights and simps, there used to be like a brigade on hand at all times. Like the moment that someone would white knight, you just see like the white knight brigade. They all have fedoras and neck beards. They're just rocking, ready to go. I don't see them anymore. In fact, I think that the incident in Los Angeles where those two women just got the utter complete crap kicked out of them at that hot dog stand. Which, when in doubt, did you hear about that?
No, women got their asses beat at a hot dog stand.
So yeah, basically, here's the story. I'm going to paraphrase it. And RPM did a really good video on it. But essentially, the incident that occurred was there was a hot dog vendor and a man that were arguing, and these two women walk up, and it's midnight in Los Angeles. And the one girl says to the guy, or basically they tell the guy that if he doesn't like it, he should leave because he's sitting there arguing with this hot dog guy about I don't honestly. I think it had something to do with a price or something. The guy was saying that he got overcharged, and the hot dog vendor's like, "No, I didn't overcharge you." Typical, stuff to see, honestly. So these girls tell him that if he doesn't like it, he can leave. The guy turns on them and basically kind of confronts them, and then the one girl, decides to stand her ground and go, "Oh yeah, I'm the one that told you that," and then he punches her. So, and then proceeds to beat the ever living hell out of both of them. Now, while this is happening, there are people walking on the streets of Los Angeles. There are people walking by and watching this entire thing. And literally, not a single man stops to help these women. Not a single woman, obviously, to stop to help them, but not a single man stopped to help them. In fact, there were men that would walk by, look, point, laugh, and keep walking.
Wow.
So this is what I say is there is it's not overall, it's not complete, but I say that white knighting is dead largely due to the fact that most men are not. I don't know you. I don't know you. You're some hussy on the street. I don't know you. I'm not gonna deal with I'm not gonna put my life on the line for that. Screw that. You know, I'm talking about completely, normal blue pilled guys. They haven't been red pilled yet. They haven't been indoctrinated, as they would say on YouTube now. Because if you're a red pill community, you're indoctrinated, with conspiracy theories and horrifying thoughts in dreams. Any day now, you'll see Cthulhu. But what comes into play is even your normal guy will look at the situation and go, "Well, you're equal to me. You can't handle yourself." Are we watching Captain Awful? I, for one, am saying absolutely not. You couldn't pay me to go watch it. One, because if I wanted to see a movie that had a cringy female lead and also involved aircraft, I'd go watch Stealth, 2005. Horrifying movie. You ever seen that one or not?
Captain Awful? No, I wasn't aware of it.
Oh, Captain Marvel?
Oh, hell to a no.
Well, no. Okay, no, I was talking about, have you ever seen the movie Stealth?
Oh, maybe.
It was one of those, really bad A-lister movies.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Premise of the movie essentially is that you have an aircraft it's a unmanned aircraft, fighter stealth super jet. U.S. Air Force does all kinds of. They create the ultimate jet, basically, and they put a robot in there, and it goes, berserk. And one of the main pilots in the movie is this blonde female that's this, I'm gonna go do it all and kick ass and take names and take this robot down because I'm a female and I'm independent and I'm strong, and she's the first one to get shot out of the sky. And I shit you not, she spends the rest of the movie
Jesus.
drinking water out of random rivers in Taiwan. It's hilarious.
I wasn't expecting for it to go that way, but all right.
Well, no, okay. Sorry, she's not the first one. She's like the third one to get shot down. The other two, because it's a science fiction horror movie. It's an Asian guy and a black guy, which is obligatory. Those have to go first, and then it's the dumb white blonde.
Hmm.
You know the rules of horror movies, right?
No.
So there's three different kinds of horror movies where this comes into play: paranormal, slasher, and zombie. In zombie movies, it's always the black guy, the dumb ditzy blonde that die first. So it's always the black guys first, and then it's always one of the females, typically a blonde. In slashers, it's always the intelligent guy and the dumb ditzy blonde, followed by the jock. Or it's the intelligent guy, the jock, and the dumb ditzy blonde. Paranormal movies, it's always conveniently the one fucking person that has the key outside. So whoever is holding the key to get outside and do whatever, they're always the first person to die. And then it's the black guy and the dumb blonde. Everyone else comes next.
I see your point. Yeah, that sounds like a good horror movie material there.
Well, in every single movie that has a black guy and a dumb ditzy blonde, it follows that order. There's only one movie series, only one horror movie series that completely throws that rule out the window. You know what it is?
Scary Movie?
Exactly.
Haha! That was a Hail Mary, and I got it. So, speaking of movies, are you ready for tomorrow?
Thought it was Thursday.
I mean, are you ready for Thursday?
Yes.
Cool. Oh man, I went back and I watched it just so I could have a clear memory of what the movie's about, and I actually stayed up way past my intended sleep time because I enjoyed the movie so much. Again, I'm gonna have a great time reviewing this movie.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to doing this, and hopefully everyone that's here right now will come on and go ahead and give that a watch as well. I do believe it's going to be on your channel, though, when in doubt.
That is correct.
Hopefully this provides more entertainment than usual. It's something more fun, not as serious. However, I think we've pretty much beaten this horse beyond death and then some. And so before everyone gets stuck here any longer, I think this is a good place to stop. What about you?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, so any last words?
Yes. If you, and this is going for the 6 people watching, and then myself, and to you, of course, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
If you find yourself in a position where you have to sacrifice either your freedom or your desire, which is more valuable? I think it's pretty safe to say that most of us would say our freedom is more valuable. But who actually acts on that? Who actually is willing to take the risk of their own personal comfort to secure their personal freedom? We already give too much of our freedom away to the government and other people in general, bosses and whatnot. Just be aware, gentlemen. Your freedom is not tradable. It's not worth anything else. It's the most priceless thing you could have. Your freedom is your life.
I think those are very fine words. And to go ahead and continue on that, I just wanted to go ahead and one last time state, you are very valuable. If to no one else but you should feel that way. Because you, yourself, your life, your possessions, your belongings, your ideas, and every part of you that is you is the most valuable asset that you as a man can possibly obtain. Your sovereignty in and of itself is a very rights that you have and a responsibility that you should enjoy because you have this value. Remember, at no point are you disposable for anyone else's purpose but your own. And so I think that's a great way to end it. And as always, if you bought the soap and it doesn't look like soap, doesn't smell like soap, it's probably not soap.